Medieval castles, often seen as the quintessential symbol of the Middle Ages, were far more than just imposing structures of stone and mortar. They played a pivotal role in the military, political, and social landscape of medieval Europe. This video delves into the multifaceted world of medieval castles, revealing the realities of warfare, intrigue, and daily life that these fortifications were central to. Medieval castles were not only majestic landmarks, but also critical centers of military strategy during the Middle Ages. Constructed across Europe, these fortresses were pivotal in controlling territories, overseeing important routes, and serving as defensive bulwarks against enemies. Their strategic importance evolved alongside advancements in military technology and tactics. Positioned in strategic locations such as hilltops, riverbanks, and key crossroads, castles enabled lords and monarchs to assert control over surrounding lands. These fortifications were often built near borders to guard against invading armies or to serve as a base for launching military campaigns. The visibility of castles also served as a constant reminder of the ruling power's presence and strength to both the local populace and potential adversaries. The design of castles was heavily influenced by the need for defense. Early Motte and Bailey castles, with their wooden structures atop earthen mounds, gradually gave way to more formidable stone fortresses. High walls, battlements, moats, drawbridges, and gatehouses were among the features designed to repel attackers. Castles were often designed to be self-sufficient during sieges, with storerooms for food and water, living quarters, and armories. The evolution of castle architecture reflected the changing nature of warfare. The introduction of gunpowder and cannon necessitated thicker walls and lower profiles to withstand bombardment. Towers, once tall and narrow, were built lower and with wider bases to better absorb cannon fire. The development of concentric castles, with multiple layers of defense, exemplified the adaptation to increasing offensive capabilities. Beyond their physical structure, castles played a role in the broader strategy of medieval warfare. They were centers for gathering intelligence on enemy movements, storing and safeguarding resources, and coordinating military efforts. The presence of a castle could deter enemy incursions, force armies to take longer routes, or become focal points for battles and sieges. In summary, medieval castles were crucial centers of military strategy, serving as fortifications, bases of operation, and symbols of power. Their strategic placement and evolving design were responses to the changing dynamics of warfare, and they played a key role in shaping the medieval political and territorial landscape. The legacy of these castles as military strongholds remains etched in their ruins and continues to fascinate historians and enthusiasts alike. Medieval castles were not just military fortresses, they were also pivotal centers of political power and intrigue. These structures were the residences of nobility and monarchs, serving as administrative centers, courts of law, and symbols of authority. The walls of these castles often enclosed a microcosm of medieval society, where political games, strategic marriages, and power struggles played out. As seats of power, castles were crucial in the administration of medieval territories. Lords and ladies governed their lands from these strongholds, overseeing legal matters, tax collection, and the management of resources. The presence of a castle in a region signified political authority and control, serving as a physical manifestation of a ruler's power and influence. The political significance of castles also made them hotbeds of intrigue and conspiracy. Within their halls, alliances were forged and broken, plots hatched, and betrayals executed. The strategic importance of owning or controlling a castle often led to conflicts and sieges, as capturing a castle could shift the balance of power in a region. Castles were, therefore, frequently at the center of political machinations, both local and broader. Additionally, castles played a key role in diplomacy and the display of power. They were venues for hosting important guests, including foreign dignitaries, where rulers could display their wealth and strength. Royal courts held in castles were elaborate affairs, meant to impress and intimidate, showcasing the owner's status and power. Moreover, castles were often the settings for significant historical events, such as the signing of treaties, royal weddings, and coronations. These events were not just ceremonial, they were crucial in the political maneuverings of the time, often influencing the course of regional or national politics. In conclusion, medieval castles were much more than military strongholds, they were dynamic centers of political power and intrigue. They played a central role in the governance of territories, were focal points of political and diplomatic activity, and often served as the backdrop for key historical events. The legacy of these castles as hubs of power and intrigue provides a fascinating insight into the complex and often turbulent political landscape of the Middle Ages. Daily life in a medieval castle was a blend of grandeur and hardship, reflecting the hierarchical structure of feudal society. These castles, typically the homes of nobility, lords, or kings, were bustling centers of activity, catering to various functions such as defense, administration, and residence. Life within the castle walls varied greatly based on one's social status, from the luxurious lifestyle of the ruling family to the busy and often harsh existence of the servants and guards. For the lord and his family, the castle was a place of comfort and power. Their quarters were usually the most luxurious part of the castle, often featuring decorated rooms, tapestries, and fine furniture. They engaged in activities like hunting, feasting, and hosting guests, and their daily routine involved overseeing the management of their lands and attending to political matters. Knights and soldiers in the castle had a life centered around military training and defense. They practiced combat skills, maintained weapons and armor, and stood guard to protect the castle. When not engaged in warfare, knights also participated in tournaments to showcase their prowess. Servants and laborers were the backbone of castle life, responsible for its smooth functioning. They performed various tasks such as cooking, cleaning, laundry, and general maintenance. Life for these individuals was labor-intensive and offered little comfort, but living in a castle provided them with protection and a steady livelihood. Artisans and craftsmen within the castle community, such as blacksmiths, carpenters, and masons, played a crucial role in maintaining the structure and functionality of the castle. They created and repaired tools, weapons, and parts of the castle itself. The castle's chapel was a center of spiritual life, where residents attended religious services. Religion played a significant role in everyday life, and the chapel was often the site of important ceremonies and rites. The castle's kitchen was another hub of activity, busy with the preparation of daily meals for all residents, from the lord's family to the servants. Feasts were common events, showcasing the wealth and hospitality of the lord. For children living in a castle, life involved education and training appropriate to their social status. Noble children were tutored in various subjects, including reading, writing, religion, and the arts of warfare and governance. In conclusion, daily life in a medieval castle was a microcosm of the wider feudal society, with a clear hierarchy and division of roles. From the luxury and power of the nobility to the hard work of the servants and craftsmen, life in a castle was diverse and multifaceted, reflecting the social, political, and economic structures of the medieval world. Medieval castles, beyond their roles in defense and governance, were vibrant hubs of cultural and social activity. These imposing structures were the setting for a myriad of events and traditions that reflected the customs and values of the time. Castles served as cultural centers where music, dance, and the literary arts flourished. The great halls of these castles were often the venues for banquets, feasts, and balls, events that showcased the wealth and sophistication of the nobility. Minstrels, poets, and troubadours were regular entertainers at these gatherings, providing music and storytelling that were central to medieval culture. These gatherings also had significant social implications. They were opportunities for arranging political alliances, discussing important matters, and forging marital ties among noble families. Such events were crucial for maintaining and extending the influence and network of a castle's lord. Education and learning were other key aspects of the castle's cultural life. Castles often housed private chapels where religious instruction was given, and libraries where scholarly work was conducted. Noble children received their education within the castle walls, learning about literature, history, and the arts of knighthood and courtly manners. Religious observances were integral to castle life. The chapel was not just a place of worship, but also a venue for significant life events, such as baptisms, marriages, and funerals. These ceremonies were important social events, bringing together the castle's inhabitants and people from nearby lands. Tournaments and jousts, held in the castle grounds or in nearby fields, were another form of social entertainment. These events, which combined martial skill with spectacle, were immensely popular in the Middle Ages. Knights displayed their prowess in combat and horsemanship, competing for honor and recognition. Seasonal festivals and fairs were also celebrated within the castle or its precincts. These occasions, often marked by feasting and merrymaking, were times when the rigid structures of feudal society were relaxed and people from different social strata mingled. In conclusion, medieval castles were much more than residences or fortresses, they were vital centers of cultural and social life. Through a blend of entertainment, education, religious observances, and social events, castles played a crucial role in sustaining the legacy of medieval castles extends beyond the historical period in which they were built. Many have survived to the present day, serving as museums and tourist attractions. They continue to capture the public imagination, symbolizing a bygone era of knights, chivalry, and romance. Their enduring presence stands as a testament to the craftsmanship and engineering skills of medieval builders, as well as to the turbulent and dynamic period of history they represent. In conclusion, medieval castles were far more than mere fortifications. They were integral to warfare, political strategy, and the everyday life of the medieval period. Their walls hold stories of battles, intrigue, and the daily existence of those who lived within and around them. Understanding the real stories behind these castles offers a deeper insight into the complexities and nuances of medieval life.